For the last day of our Chuseok vacation, we met up with our neighbor Torie and her friend Hannah, and we decided to hike up Mount Geumsan, or Geumsan, we're not exactly sure how to pronounce it. At the base of that mountain, however, is a few Buddhist temples, so we went and saw another one. As Jill said before, they all look kind of similar after a while, but it is still something new. They still practice at these, but I don't know how many people actually come and still pray at these exact temples. Here's an example of the kimchi pots that are all over town, all over Korea. These are what they ferment the kimchi in. You'll see them in everyone's backyards, I swear. And here's an example of the steps to get to the top. It wasn't all like this, but from where we were at the beginning, it was very stair-stepped. Sorry for the shaky camera. It happens with the GoPro on my head. And here's an example of just the workout equipment. This is everywhere in Korea, and you see the elderly people using these in every park you can imagine. Someone's...
Caterpillar.
Oh, baby caterpillar.
Like this.
Or maybe you do this?
Yeah, what is it? Is it a Titanic thing there?
Maybe
You
it's like
stand
a
on it?
stretcher, I don't know. Yeah.
Say something riveting.
We're on a hike.
What the hell was that?
I'm British accent.
You've been to England twice and you can't do an accent.
I can speak British.
And as I stated before, a lot of this hike was stepped, kind of like this here, with a railing. However, it's steeper than it looks, and these stairs did start to take a toll on your knees. But overall, it wasn't too bad of a hike. Ooh. That's a nice view of town. I kind of want to go take a picture of it. Can you hold my water there? Thank you. After I had climbed under the railing, we got our first glimpses of our hometown of Suncheon from an elevated position. And we were able to locate most of the things we know around town. And we can even find our apartment building because of our nice rooftop. It was easy to notice the bright green. But we will get some better views as we get higher up. But this was our first glimpse of the town, and it was a nice change of pace to see that. And this is just an example of us taking a break, drinking some water on the way up. But as Jill had stated, I believe in the prior video, this is the mountain that we tried to hike up 2 days prior, and we just could not find the trailhead. So luckily, Torie had a little bit of an idea where it was, and we had noticed a trail from the bus we took the day when we went to Gangcheon. So we thought this was the correct trail, and we were lucky enough that we were correct. They do light it up at night, but we have yet to see that, so we don't know if it's just a seasonal thing or when that will happen, but I'm sure it will be very pretty to see. But here we are, just me taking a break, sitting down. We did make it a nice, easy, leisurely hike since, hey, we're on vacation. We weren't in any hurry to get up there, and just we took our time and enjoyed being able to be outside.
Are we not allowed to go on?
Let's see. And if you couldn't notice before, this pagoda actually had some do not cross signs, but we hiked all the way up here. We were going to climb up and see it. So here's the next look from Suncheon. This is the second level. There's one more. We actually hike all the way to the peak of this mountain. This is just like a minor peak, if you will. So like everyone our age, we had to take a few selfies from the top. And luckily, Torie was with to get a nice shot of Jill and I with Suncheon behind us. Over my right shoulder is actually the Buddhist mountain that we had hiked that first weekend here with Neil and Michelle. And I believe we have some photos up of that as well. And these are just some random shots of us kind of making our way from the nice paved route to that pagoda to the actual peak where it was just more of a dirt rock path. There were, I believe, a few steps along the way, but mostly it was more of a traditional trail, not a nice stair-stepped railed trail. This is the first time that Jill and I have been able to see Suncheon from such a high up angle. I know Jill hiked one of the mountains in town that mainly was 100 feet taller than the highest sky rises around, but these ones were so much higher up. It was a nice change of pace for us to actually see that, and to have people with us who are also, it was their first time up this mountain as well. I know Torie's been here for about 6 or 7 months, and she's been one to get up here, so it was really nice to share the experience with someone other than just ourselves. And here's Jill with her typical fun faces and her Asian peace sign. So cute. And as a geologist, these were the sections I enjoyed, just large chunks of rock that we could climb up, not so much dirt. It was a really warm area. You could see lizards and things basking here, I'm assuming, but it was just a nice difference to the typical trails that we had been on the last couple of days. And once we got up there, we reached the peak. 432.9 kilometers, I can't even read what it says. So it's not the tallest mountain, but it's the tallest one in the immediate area to town. Hey, Jill made the top, and we had to take a picture to prove that we made it up here. So these next series of pictures are actually the area around us. This is the far side of the mountain that we normally don't get to see. This heads up towards Jeonju for any of our friends living up there. And this is an example of Buddhist mountain. That's that one we climbed the first day and we thought was tall. We were wrong. This one was twice as tall, it seems. And the first views of Suncheon from the peak. It's not a big town. Like I said, our town is maybe 30,000 people. Population, the size doesn't warrant 30,000. It's not the most business-friendly place, but it's our home, and we love it here. We wouldn't have asked for anything else. And here's a bunch of rice fields, and once again, the mountains in the distance. We're going to try to hike as many as we can while we're here. It's just a beautiful area, and we're so lucky and fortunate to have such a gorgeous surrounding to our time here in Korea. So we've started our descent down back to home here, and it wasn't the worst hike. Going down seemed a third the time as going up. I'm sorry for the shaky camera. If you guys don't know, for a lot of these videos, I have my GoPro rather strapped to my head or to my chest. And unlike your eyes and your human body, when it's just a video, you're not used to seeing things bounce. But here's our way down. Once again, we're back in the nice stair-stepped area with a nice railing. It does take a toll on your legs, so you kind of have to swing your hips as you go down over time. But it wasn't too bad. It was more just time for us to gossip on the way down. You were not short of breath as we were on the way up at times. So it's a nice, easy time to just talk about the hike and just take in how beautiful Suncheon actually is. And in the background here on the right, you can see Suncheon coming up again. We are the bigger town in the area. There's plenty of small towns. And this is actually the Buddhist temple, a separate one at the bottom here. And there were some people practicing at the moment, maybe praying. We're not 100% sure, so we didn't want to get too invasive. But it's very typical here to have the statues and the very, very similar paint job on all of the temples. It's very pretty. But I actually snuck over and took some pictures of the statue. And there's a nice picture of it. And you may think the second one's out of focus, but no, we live in Suncheon, chili paste capital of Korea. So, of course, there's chili peppers drying right next to their temple. They're everywhere in town. We're used to seeing those as well. But thanks for watching. Have a good one.